doing?
Okay,
Yeah.
welcome everyone. Callie, are you going to kick us off?
Yeah, let's do that. Yes.
All right.
So welcome everybody to the SCCD Town Hall. We've got a great year planned and we're excited to tell you all about it. Now, there's a few things I want to mention before we share all these exciting offerings. This webinar has a Q&A feature. I encourage you to submit questions throughout the presentation when you have them, but we will address them at the end during the Q&A. And there will also be links added throughout the presentation in the chat that relates to what is being shared and will be useful as well. However, we are recording this entire presentation, so that will be posted on the ASME eFest YouTube channel. We are making this as interactive as possible, so since you are part of ASME, take some screenshots of your favorite programs that you will hear tonight, because there may be some type of social media challenge that will be announced toward the end. Now first, let's introduce who will be speaking here. I am Callie Turigny, Senior Vice President of ASME's Student and Early Career Development Sector. We have a great team, awesome staff, members, engineers, ASME, team that is always working every day to create these great offerings. Here with me are a few of them. Shirosh, Omar, Nicole, please say hi.
Welcome everyone. My name is Shirosh Shahid. I am the Director of ASME Student Early Career Development Programs. I'm very excited to have everyone here today.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. I'm Nicole Kaufman-Diaz, and I'm the Student and Early Career Development Sector's Senior Vice President-elect. So I'll succeed Callie when her term ends this coming June. And it's an absolute pleasure to be here with all of you.
Hi, my name is Omar Kher. I'm a volunteer on ASME Student Leadership Training Committee, the Early Career Engineers Programming Committee, and pride at ASME.
Great. Now that you know who we are, let's get to know you. Now, I usually like to ask everybody to type their name and location in the chat so that we can see who's in our audience. But this Zoom webinar setup doesn't allow us that kind of feature. So we're going to use a poll instead. Trish, are we all set up? Oh, there it goes.
Yep.
Excellent.
Poll should be live.
Great. So are you an undergraduate student, graduate student, early career engineer, seasoned engineer, or other non-engineer guest?
A seasoned engineer?
Yeah. Like I'm quite seasoned, like actually salt and pepper, actually I'm getting a little bit more salt now in my hair. But so what are you, Nicole?
I'm gonna go for vanilla.
So Omar, we didn't want to imply that students or early career engineers are any less professional or experienced than engineers who are in the 10+ years post-baccalaureate. So let's see our response.
Yeah, so we have our results. So it looks like 61% of our attendees are undergraduate students, so welcome. And then we also have some 4% grad students and 10% are early career engineers.
Terrific. Thank you everyone for completing the poll. So we've got a great year planned. Tonight we will cover our upcoming programs and events, where to find key resources, and who to contact when you need the help. So it's such a packed agenda. So Shirosh, I think you're up next.
Thank you, Callie. So founded in 1880 to provide engineers with a forum to discuss concerns related to the rise of new technologies, ASME continues to be at the forefront of advancing engineering for the benefit of humanity. Sure, technology has evolved, but the need to ensure technology's safety and to share lessons learned with fellow engineers remains the same whether you're operating a steam boiler, optimizing a supercritical nuclear reactor, or launching a pressure vessel into space. Created by a small group of leading industrialists, the society now includes more than 90,000 members in over 140 countries, including nearly 25,000 student members. And ASME's 140th year is going to be the best year yet for our student and early career programming. So welcome again. We have a great program for you tonight. And I believe Omar is going to talk a little bit about the SLTC program.
So our first big event for this year as SLTC, I guess after tonight, is the Student Leadership Training Conference. For the first time, this event is going virtual. It's a 2-day exclusive, fully immersive leadership training dedicated to student leaders in ASME. Just like every year, we have this year a wide range of sessions that aim to help students get to know more about ASME to become a better leader and better lead your sections in a digital and diverse environment. These sessions will be delivered by ASME's top senior leaders. For more information on the SLTC, you can find it through the link on the screen, event.asme.org/SLTC. Applications are now open through the end of September. Make sure to apply now. Our seats are limited and we will only be accepting the top applications.
So we know that job hunting in this COVID world is drastically different than it was even just a few months ago. And so I'm particularly excited tonight to get to announce our latest addition to the eFest lineup, eFest Careers 2020, which will be held on Saturday, November 7th. This half-day summit will offer a number of workshops on everything from optimizing your resume for a digital job hunt to putting your best foot forward in a virtual job interview. And everything in between, including how to be an entrepreneur. I'm especially personally excited for our career path Ask Me Anythings. I wish we had these when I was a student, where you can literally ask anything you want of engineers working in a variety of disciplines and industries, such as design engineering, project management, manufacturing, and also plenty of opportunities to network with your fellow students and pick up skills, all designed to help you optimize your job hunt. So we hope to see you November 7th and encourage you to sign up at efest.asme.org so that you are notified when registration opens up.
We're also very excited to announce that we will be holding another eFest Digital in April of 2021. Please continue to monitor our social media or our eFest website for exact dates and when registration will be open for that. So this event will focus on the competition finales for all of our competitions that we hold every year. But in addition to that, we will also have some great career and professional development workshops and an overall celebration of engineering and a lot more. I do want to highlight that with ASME's recent new initiative of ASME Anywhere, we will be making some adjustments to our competition rules so that they are in line with ASME's plan for this academic year to hold virtual only events. So please, again, stay tuned to our eFest website for any updates on those competitions. The great thing is that we did announce digital versions of our competitions already. So we're going to talk more about those next.
Great. Thank you. So the first one we're going to talk about is the SDC, the Student Design Competition. It is one of the popular student competitions that exist. The 2021 challenge is Harvesting the Sun and the Wind. It requires the students team to design and build a vehicle capable of collecting solar and wind energy to extend the duration of operation of a remotely controlled vehicle that navigates a course and transports weights to earn points. The team can only be comprised of undergraduate engineering students. So this is any types of engineering students that are ASME student members. Please note that the SDC Committee of Volunteer members are reviewing and updating the current rules to reflect this new ASME Anywhere initiative. So the actual design rules already exist and are up there on the ASME eFest website. The design itself exists, so download that. But what they're looking at is consideration of the testing rules, and they were going to add any other aspects that will allow the students participants to gain invaluable experience digitally. So be sure to go to that website and receive any updates on those kind of announcements. Nicole? Oh, sure.
Yeah, I got it. So I'm also excited to announce that we will be holding our signature ASME Human Powered Vehicle Challenge. And this year, the way we're doing the challenge is it's 2 digital events. We're going to have, first off, our critical design review competition, and we're also going to have an innovation competition. We have the links on this slide and also in the chat below on what the specifics of all of those rules are. And of course, stay tuned for our website on any adjustments or changes to those rules. But, and we'll have a Q&A session at the end of this, so we'll be happy to answer any questions.
This year's Additive Manufacturing Challenge, IM3D, built on last year's cargo drone racing competition in many ways, with a more challenging but easily replicable course and payload, first-person view, cameras, etc. As with the other competitions, the team is reviewing the rules and adding some guidance related to the new ASME Anywhere policy So be sure to sign up on the efest.asme.org website so you receive notification when they post the latest on this competition.
And next, you have the elevator pitch competition. Show off your persuasion skills by introducing us to an idea, a project, or a product you're passionate about. The topic of this year's competition will be announced on eFest, at the eFest Careers on November 7th. Make sure to check out the link in the slides or in the chat for more information about the rules and the guidelines.
Communication is a critical skill, especially in a socially distanced COVID world. One of ASME's longest running competitions, the Old Guard Oral Competition, acknowledges those who are particularly adept at communicating technical concepts well. This year, the competition will take place virtually, so I encourage those interested in participating to be sure to attend that eFest Careers on November 7th to get virtual interview best practices, as well as visit the ASME efest.asme.org website for the competition rules.
So we're very excited to announce a brand new global competition called ASME REboat. So if we have any attendees who were able to attend our Asia Pacific eFest this past spring, they'll be very familiar with this competition. It is based around a design and race, the design and race of a remote controlled boat that runs exclusively on solar. So we are very excited about this brand new global competition. We will be posting rules very soon. So please keep an eye on our eFest website for all those details.
And yet another new competition that I'm really excited to announce is one that's sponsored by ASME's Environmental Systems Technical Division. Again, this shows the value of oral communication skills. What is even more exciting is that this competition is not only for undergraduate students, but it's also for graduate students and early career engineers. So though the rules have not been posted yet, you already know what the topic is on and can start researching, designing, or coming up with a great idea. So get on that eFest distribution list or follow the ASME eFest social media or ASME Student and Early Career Development Facebook page. Now, we just shared with you all of the different competitions, but ASME eFest is much more than competition. It's much, much more. It's those great relevant workshops. So let's take another poll.
Yeah, and if you choose other, please indicate what your other choice is in the Q&A.
This is where we get to hear what you guys want to see at these eFest Digital. And our team, we have an amazing team that works on these eFest. They really look closely on the inputs and survey responses and such. So.
All right, so we're just coming up on the end of this poll. So 61% are interested in technical areas of interest, followed by 55% around leadership and 52% around career. Fantastic.
Terrific, excellent, good, good, good. All right, let's keep going. So the next one I want to share about is the ASME EFX. This is an excellent way to share the growth and excitement of celebrating engineering eFest to your local community. They're known as EFX. This thematic program can range from professional development to actual competitions or even both. Since the launch of EFX in 2018, there has been over 24 successfully held around the world. One focused on entrepreneur, others on space, some held workshops, others had a hackathon, others had their own oral competition, which engaged both student and professional section members. Other featured researchers, other had workshops to support the various competitions to get prepared for the eFest that's in the spring. So there is an EFX toolkit, and on the ASME eFest website, you will be able to find in the upper right tab EFX and link for more information if you want to host one. This program offers empowerment to you to organize, plan, and host these smaller scale events. This opportunity is not limited to only students in the student sections. EFX can be hosted by early career members through their professional sections and or technical divisions. In fact, unfortunately, 2 of them had to be canceled because of the COVID situations, but you guys, in this digital world, this is huge. Now you have this opportunity not to worry about that. So this is a fantastic way for students for you to be involved and volunteer in hosting an EFX, meaning you can even help plan and reach out for speakers, look for alumni as speakers, or even reach out to some of your ASME members from your professional section or divisions. So you choose the theme idea, submit your plan, and then fill in the application form and wait for approval.
Speaking of activities that are great for a local section, while the new ASME Anywhere policy precludes in-person section meetings for right now, ASME's MDE, or Member Development and Engagement sector, offers quite a bevy of resources to help both professional and student sections adapt to this COVID world. Those resources include staff assistance, section operations handbook, activity funding to help you put on new programs, and so much more. Participating in your local section is so rewarding. It's a great opportunity to build your local network, to identify niche opportunities that are particular to your area, such as local industries, as well as to develop your leadership skills by volunteering with your local section. So visit the go.asme.org/sections for professional sections, or /student sections for the appropriate resources.
Now it's time to learn about the early career programs in ASME. ASME Future Me is the main hub for early career engineers, or we also like to call them ECEs. It hosts all the platforms aiming to connect ECEs through different programs, digital and volunteer engagement channels. If you want to learn more about all the resources ASME Future Me has to offer, please make sure to check out the link on the slides or in the chats, go.asme.org/futureme. Our most popular programs include the mini talks. They're short, impactful peer-to-peer talks that showcase the experiences of early career engineers as they navigate through the challenges and breakthroughs in their careers. They're usually hosted in person during the conferences, but this year we plan to move virtually. We also have the social meetups, which are an opportunity to experience the power of social networking, taking the awkwardness out of meeting new people and gaining new communication skills, while also learning about a technical topic of interest. Keep an eye on upcoming announcements for both the mini talks and the social meetups as we're planning to move virtual this year. In this increasingly virtual world, we are working hard to increase our digital offerings. We currently have the ME Today online magazine that provides timely and relevant information that early career engineers can use to assist them in advancing their careers, their professional awareness, and their understanding of the practice and business of engineering. To subscribe to ME Today, please go to preferences.asme.org and check the ME Today box under newsletters. We also offer a wide variety of case studies and practical information called the ABCD modules that provide early career engineers with an introduction to different career development topics, including real-world examples. Our YouTube channel has more than 100 videos covering different professional development and technical topics, and our social media is constantly uploaded with news about the society and the engineering world. So make sure to follow us at ASME Future Me. And finally, our baby, which is pretty much still in the works, is the CEC, or the Career Engagement Center. It's a digital platform we're currently developing that aims to help students and early career engineers plan their future and identify opportunities that can help them achieve their long-term objectives. What you're seeing on the screen is just a sneak peek of our current conceptual designs that we're still shaping and optimizing as we go. It's a big project and we're looking for volunteers. So if you're interested in being part of it, please contact us at earlycareerengineers@asme.org.
Thanks, Omar. It's so exciting of all that's been going on. You and the other volunteers are incredible. So isn't this great? There's so much that's happening.
Yeah, Callie, this is one of our biggest years that we've had for student and early career programming. And we really hope that we can continue to highlight the value of membership. So with that, we have another poll. How long have you been an ASME member?
So Callie, while our participants are answering, how long have you been an ASME member?
So I want to show how old I am. It's been 34 years, but you know, I'm actually a little bit more curious about our audience. So fill those out. What about you, Nicole?
This is officially my 20th year.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah,
we have 36% are between 2 to 5 years,
Okay.
followed by 29% who are newbies, their first year. So
Oh,
welcome.
yay, yay.
So very exciting.
And
Thank you
can
for
we
joining us,
recognize
everyone.
the people who are 40
Yeah.
plus that have joined
Yes.
us?
Look at the
Yes.
younger
We
you
have-
guys that are.
Yes.
That's terrific.
Great.
So as you can see, all of those
So-
great benefits that are listed on the table above, which certainly are perks. One of the things that I find that is really the most important thing as one of the biggest benefit for being an ASME member is actually the experiential skills development, you know, like the leadership skills, the project management skills, things that I was able to hone when I was a student organizing a conference, or later on when I was planning a program or reaching out to a speaker for the local professional sections. Those skills that I was able to practice and hone to feel comfortable, I was able to transfer to my career, which accelerated my career. And so those were very beneficial. The other thing is these technical newsletter that you get in your specific professional field is helpful too. In fact, when I switched positions and industries, I was able to switch that and select that for my ASME. Like for instance, when I was from a design to later on management, or when I switched from aviation to power generation, or specifically to wind and solar, you can always choose that. But I think the most beneficial was actually receiving the advice and inputs from these experienced members, these, I guess you call them seasoned members, and people that I totally respect and are friends with. They really are some of the biggest benefit for being these. So what about you, Nicole?
You know, it's definitely changed through the 20 years that I've been a member. So today I would say, you know, as an entrepreneur and business owner, the insurance has actually been quite beneficial, but that's really been the last couple of years as I've been running my own business. Prior to that, I'd say the number one thing would be the relationships that I've built, both in terms of having access to industry leaders and developing mentorships, all the way through to truly lifelong friendships that I've built through the membership, and especially through volunteering, people that I never would have met otherwise. And that networking has been so valuable in my career. Every single position I've held has in one way or another come from a networking contact that I met through ASME. And just speaking of the, you also mentioned about staying on top of technical trends.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so often in my career, I've seen an article in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whether it's Access Engineering or ME Today, you know, and it's been relevant to something currently happening in my job. And I've been able to share that article and you know, spark some discussion or new idea with the team. And being that resource, that person who's looking out for what's new is just, it's invaluable. It really helps to advance your career and show that you're interested and engaged in what you're working on. How about you, Omar? What keeps you coming back?
Well, my experience resonates a lot with what Nicole and Kali said. It's mostly the people and the connections that you build, engaging with a lot of great volunteers and a lot of great like-minded people that you end up building good friendships with, and also acquiring a lot of soft skills that you might not get to learn elsewhere.
Totally agree.
That's great. I just want to highlight one more of ASME's benefits, and that's our awards, scholarships, and loans program. So recognizing the achievements of members is core to any professional society. And ASME has hundreds of awards, and 16 in particular that are for students, early career engineers, and those who mentor and guide them. But in order to be recognized, you need to apply. So I encourage everybody to visit the Honors and Awards website and to put in an application. I especially want to recognize the Arthur Williston Medal, which the committee recently revamped this year and converted from being an essay contest to being a recognition for civic leadership. And I know from years of serving on the committee that reviews the Charles T. Main and the Old Guard, Early Career Award, that we have so many students and recent graduates who are doing great work in their community. So I'm hoping to see quite a plethora of applications for that new revamped Williston Medal. In addition to the awards, ASME grants more than $300,000 a year in scholarships and loans. And I want to point out that ASME uses a consolidated application process. So that means that you can be considered for every scholarship and loan for which you are eligible just by filling out one form.
Terrific.
So with all this talk about membership, we also want to highlight the fact that if you will be receiving a quick survey at the end of this event, so please make sure to fill that out. And we will have a 25% discount code off of membership when you fill that out. So please make sure that you take advantage of that.
And that's one of the things I wanted to mention because, you know, I was very active in ASME, but I wish I knew then what I know now about ASME. So I'm so glad that everyone that's on here, you know, make sure that you take full advantage of all the different opportunities and offerings that ASME has to offer. So speaking of which, this is all great information here, but, you know, I think the last thing the participants on this webinar probably cares about is how ASME is structured. So even though like some of our student and early career programs fall under us here in the SCCD, while others might fall under the purview of the new member development and engagement sector, where my counterpart is Mike Roy, the SVP, and yours is Evelyn Taylor. So Shiraj, would you please take a moment to describe who to call when, and this isn't Ghostbusters, so who should they call?
Absolutely. And of course, email is preferred, but we're happy to receive a phone call if that's easier. So for anything that is related to student and professional section operations, so we're talking about section funding, you're interested in organizing an event, you're interested in holding an EFX event at your section, and also identifying speakers for any section meetings. That should all be going to Evelyn Taylor, who's the director of MDE, and she'll be happy to assist you. And then if you have any questions as it relates to ASME eFests, EFX, any associated programming and competitions, or anything related to future ME Today, and associated national and international student and early career programs, please feel free to reach out to me. So we work well as a team. If you reach out to me with a section question, I will make sure that I can get you connected with Evelyn. So rest assured that between the two of us, we'll make sure that we can have all of your questions answered.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Now,
And just to highlight that both of you have tons of volunteer opportunities, both in developing programs and with local sections. So
yes,
depending on where your interests lie, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, no, that's terrific. So besides Shirosh and Evelyn and their strong support staff team, and also all the volunteers from both sectors, you can actually obtain information and find resources mentioned earlier on a different platform. So you can see this slide here. We are basically everywhere on websites, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn. And one of the advice that I'd urge is to save as your favorite the ASME eFest for the competition rules, the updates, registration, EFX, host application. Also save the ASME Anywhere with the latest policies that we all need to adhere to, and also save the ASME Future Me for the early career information. That's where you can find those mini talks and all those great career development resources. So you don't want to miss any of these announcements of these exciting programs that may be of interest to you. So this is the way that you want to be plugged in and make sure you're current with that one. So with that,
I have a few quick reminders for
yeah.
everyone. So first of all, make sure to opt in through preferences.asme.org. You can log in using your ASME account so that you can keep receiving our updates. The volunteer leader directory is your resource to connect with other ASME leaders at vld.asme.org. Your feedback is very important to us, so please make sure to complete the post-event survey, and we will thank you by giving you 25% discount on your ASME membership. And finally, share with us on social media which ASME program excites you the most. Make sure to tag EFES ASME and use the hashtag SCCD Town Hall on Instagram, Twitter, or both. We'll be featuring the best posts at EFES Careers on November 7th.
Well, that's quite the rundown. We're so excited to hear what everybody is most interested in. In just a minute, Anand Sethapathi will join us to facilitate a Q&A. So please put your questions in that Q&A. But in the meantime, while you're telling us which programs you're most interested in, Omar, I'm going to put you on the spot. Which program has you most interested?
I'm gonna have to go with Future Me. I'm excited to know more about this year's Future Me mini talks. They're going to be virtual for the first year ever, and they always have an exciting speakers and topics.
All right. So it looks like at 44%, EFS Careers is the most popular, followed by, of course, our fantastic student competitions, as well as Future ME coming in third. So great feedback. Thank you, everyone.
And you know, the one thing that we didn't even get to mention is the fact that these are just offerings that we have here within SCCD, but there's other opportunities that people may be really wanting to keep their eyes on for instance, the Volt Eclipse program, the early career learning, leadership serving for engineers. That's something that early careers want to keep their eyes open for. And also a lot of the technical divisions have different ways to engage for the students in early careers as well.
One last thing related to the where to find us or where to find more information. We are in the process of developing a shared calendar of all of our events. So this will not only be events that are held by SCCD related to student and early career events, but also anything that's happening on the sections level. We know that this year there's going to be a lot happening in the digital and virtual space. We want to make sure that you have a unified place to get all of that information. We will be making an announcement very shortly on our EFS website as well as social media channels on where that new unified calendar will be. So stay tuned for that. And with that, we'd like to welcome Anand Sethapathi, who is our Managing Director of Programs, to help facilitate our Q&A. Welcome, Anand.
Great, thanks, Sarosh, and thank you all for the excellent presentations today. We've got a lot of great questions that are forming in the Q&A. So if you've got a question that has not been answered or addressed, feel free to drop it in the Q&A and we'll make sure we address it. So I'm going to start with the first question here on the list. The question is there still a chance of an in-person EFEST? Remember that ASME said that they would reevaluate in November. So I'm going to take this question. We recently posted an announcement called ASME Anywhere, which is on asme.org/anywhere. We are going to focus this entire academic year on complete virtual delivery. So we are totally focused on virtual delivery, including all of our EFS, our EFXs, everything. Having said that, yes, we're constantly keeping an eye on the situation and monitoring what's happening on the ground. In mid-November, we'll reevaluate what's going on. But in terms of like preparing for EFAST or EFXs for this academic year, I would say you should definitely plan for all virtual. Our next question is related. It says, how would you do an EFX virtually? And Sarosh, can I bring you in to help answer this?
Absolutely. So we will be releasing a brand new digital toolkit on how to run a virtual EFX event, whether you're a student section, a professional section, or even if you want to collaborate with the student and professional section. We will be putting out a guideline with all the tools that you need to run an event in your section. So please keep an eye on our eFest website in the EFX section, and we'll have more information on that. And we will also be posting the toolkit availability on all of our social media when it's available.
Can I add something to that one, Sarosh? In fact, I heard Evelyn Taylor make this comment to someone, to a couple student sections a month ago. Depending on the university, they may have their own Zoom account or some type of platform that they can use, but student sections can actually apply for fundings for a Zoom account if they need to. So that's definitely a tool that they can use to help host EFX virtually.
Great. So I'm going to move us on to the next question because we're getting a lot of questions queuing up here. So the next question is, it reads, our student section is interested in EFX, but we're not sure if our department is big enough or if we have enough members. About how many members should we have to think about organizing an EFX?
Yes.
Sarosh, I'm going to turn it back to you for this. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that actually we will find in this toolkit is that if your event either isn't big enough or if you feel like you just need to do something more simple, we are putting in there some tools so that you can do a smaller event for your section, whether student or professional. So again, keep an eye out for that toolkit. We'll have a lot of great resources and information in there. And I think, as Callie just mentioned, there is some support that we'll be able to provide to help facilitate the hosting of these events, regardless of the size.
And this is where you have this wonderful opportunity to actually reach out with your professional local section, or because it's virtually, maybe perhaps partner and collaborate with another student section. You know, this is the ideal situation, guys. I mean, we did not expect something like this to happen to us this year, but this is where you can really be innovative, come up with different solutions as far as speakers and different programming. Like maybe one university happened to have expertise in a particular area of engineering, and your school happens to have another area. So this is where you can have programming that will provide that for all the attendees.
And the last thing I would mention on that is to help you identify where some of those synergies may be. Talk with your section coordinator, Janice or CDA or Sean on Evelyn Taylor's team, because you know they're the ones who are talking with the sections, both student and professional, on a regular basis. So you know they very well may be able to help match you with another organization within ASME that's planning on doing a similar event.
Right.
And again, you know, the virtual format allows you to reach a lot more people than you know you might actually have been able to reach with an in-person. So I wouldn't let size of your section discourage you from considering it.
Exactly. And then you have the other resources like your faculty advisor, especially if they're part of ASME, they have the network of other faculty advisors and then the student section enterprise committee. So there's a lot of resources for you. So great questions. I love these questions. Right on in?
Great, definitely, Callie. So I'm going to keep moving us on. So our next question is about the mentorship program. And it's, the individual said they didn't get matched and they're a senior and they'd love to speak to someone about their career. So we are going to reach out to you and make sure you get matched. So that is a follow-up. Brandy, if I could ask you to follow up with that individual directly. Our next question, it says, hello, great show. Can I apply and expect to get selected for SLTC if I'm not the chair of my student chapter? So Omar, I'm going to turn that one over to you.
Yes, I can help with that. You can definitely apply if you're not a chair of your student section. However, the applications are very competitive. So I advise you to take your time to apply, to fill out the application. And we usually have a lot of submissions and we only have a limited number of seats. So take your time, apply, and maybe you'll get selected.
Callie, thanks, Omar. Our next question is, is there a certificate of participation? Callie, did you want to take this one, or would you like me to take this one?
Is this a certificate of participation for this?
For I think webinar? It's for eFast.
Or for eFast.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to make sure I'm not going to dispute what you're thinking. We do plan to have some type of certificate of participation. It might be a virtual certificate.
I think we're going to do digital certificates this year.
Exactly.
So if you're able to attend our eFest careers or eFest digital, and you would like a digital certificate of participation, we can definitely do that.
And then to kind of tie in the other question from Jaden, if you want to actually ask for some career advice, attending these eFests, both the eFest careers, that AMA that Nicole was speaking about, the Ask Me Anything, there are going to be different, experienced engineers there, and you now have that wealth of asking them all their track and their careers, and that's why the program that Omar was speaking about in the Career Engagement Center is something that we know that early careers would be very interested in, figuring out what type of career paths you can take, what other opportunities based on your skills or license and stuff that you have. So just want to add that in there.
So moving on to the next question. This question says, is there any chance that we can have an event in a conventional way? By that, I'm assuming the question is, can we have an in-person event? Unfortunately, the answer to that is no, not currently. Please stay in touch with us, read the ASME Anywhere announcement. We'll definitely send an update once we feel that it's safe to do so. But unfortunately, right now we're totally focused on virtual. Our next question is more of a comment, but a really good comment.
I totally agree.
Callie, did you want to take this
from
one?
From one of our 40 plus members. Thank you.
Yeah.
As far as one of the most important tangible membership benefits that you can have is receiving certifications and continuous learning through ASME's professional development courses, and that's absolutely true. And especially, I think today in this COVID world, it's a great way to differentiate yourself from other folks who are out job hunting.
I totally agree.
And on the asme.org website, there's an entire membership section where you can read like all the details that we have about all the tangible benefits and intangible benefits of being an ASME member. Our next question is, how can ASME help in career transitions, such as early career engineer with 10 years of experience and with a master's degree pursuing a PhD? And I'm going to turn that over to Omar as our early career representative.
Yeah, I think that resonates a lot with the project we're working on and we just mentioned, which is the Career Engagement Center. It's a baby project, I would still call it. We're still working on shaping it, and it's going to take a while before we roll out the first version of it. But hopefully that would be something that would address and help the members transition, give advice and help them with their career transitions and give them insights on what they can do with their current qualifications and guide them throughout their career.
I was going to say, you keep calling it a baby, and it's like a baby, right? It's a labor of love and all the work that's been put in for that one. So it's not a baby, meaning it's small. It's a big project, and this is going to address the question here. Yeah. But the other thing is I want to add on here is the future me, what we've been talking about, those mini talks. We actually had a lot of, and still have a lot of members that have their PhD. So they originally had their master's degree and then they were pursuing their PhD. So there's a lot of expertise of people that have that same kind of experience. So it's getting that guidance, getting that advice and knowing that others have done the same thing. So look for some of those different YouTube, the mini talk that we were referencing earlier, watch some of those, and the ABCD course that Omar had referenced as well. So that can help you in your own time, read them, and then reach out. Again, go join the AMA, ask those questions, because we're going to have people with that kind of experience there.
Great. Well, thank you, Omar, and thank you, Callie, for those thorough responses. So our next question is, so from someone who's been a member of their ASME student section, but has not been active in a long time. And they don't know how to further their connection and networking with ASME. So now due to COVID-19, their graduation has been pushed by months, and they're not sure how their junior year friends would take up the student society. So there's a lot here, but Nicole, I know you could probably respond to some of this, and I have some thoughts as well, which I'll follow with.
Sure. So first, I'll mention and plug that Evelyn's team is actively working to revitalize sections that have not been active in a long time. So I would strongly recommend reaching out to her to find out what can be done to help, particularly if you do have fellow junior year friends who might be interested in seeing how ASME can serve you. At the same time, ASME is putting so much into online and digital resources right now. I think that you know, there are a number of ways to connect, and the avenues to connect are just going to continue to increase in this digital world. So everything from attending the upcoming eFest careers and taking advantage of the social and networking rooms that we're going to have as part of that event, to attending webcasts, participating in social media, both using these eFest and Future Me handles. I think there's a bevy of ways that you can reach out and start building relationships within ASME in this digital world.
Great response, Nicole. I think you said everything I was going to say, so great job on that. Our next question is about, do I have to pay for membership? So just to respond to that, there is a fee structure for membership, but there is a first year free for student membership. So what I would encourage you to do is to look at the asme.org site, look at the membership section, and look at the membership fees based on your year and your location.
And the other thing I'll say is that when you transition from being a student to an early career, yes, the membership fee jumps up quite a bit, but ASME actually has a discounted and tiered structure for the first, I forget if it's 3 or 5 years that you're out of school, to kind of graduate that up, hopefully with your salary. So that's something I know I found particularly helpful in the first couple of years out of school.
Great, you just answered a question a couple down, so thank you for doing that, Nicole. So the next question is again for Omar. It says, the volunteering opportunities in Future Me, are they only available to early careers, or are they also available to students?
I can say that they could also be available for students. For our call for volunteers today, if you're a student and you're close to graduating and you want to start getting involved, and you can please shoot us an email and be part of the team early on, even before you become an early career engineer.
Great, thanks, Omar. Our next question is, when will the competition rules be released? And Sarosh, I will turn that back over to you.
Yeah, so our competition rules are live for this academic year, and each one of our competitions do include a digital version of that competition. We will be releasing an update to the rules as adequate based on the new guidance from the ASME Anywhere initiative. And those should be live in the next 2 weeks. But if anyone has any specific questions, please feel free to reach out to us directly.
But they should still, like, you should still be able to go to the current competition rules. That will give you enough information to get started, because gathering your teams and find out what the main objective is. So I advise to do that.
Great, and just a reminder for everyone that those rules are at efes.asme.org under the competitions link of the EFES website.
Great.
The next question is about EFXs. Can EFXs be hosted by us in our colleges? The answer is yes, but virtually. And so we do have an extensive EFX virtual toolkit that Sarosh mentioned earlier. So you can definitely reach out to us to host a virtual EFX event, and we'd be happy to share the toolkit as well as platforms and other tools to get you going there. The next question is about awards, and I'm going to turn this one to Nicole. When are the applications for student awards opening?
So the applications are currently up. If you go to the Honors and Awards site, and click on the links for each of the different award names, you'll find the application process. It is a little bit different. A number of them use a common nomination form. There's a few that have a slightly different or unique nomination form between them. So that's the best way to find the application form for that. We tend to advertise and promote each award about 3 months before the due date, and as you saw on the slide, the due date for those applications varies throughout the year, with the majority of them being due either in February or March. And we use quite a number of ASME social media accounts to get that information out, as well as plugging it in our newsletters and emails and the ASME news, etc. So be sure that your preference center is set up so that you're getting those messages. But maybe this is a good time to ask folks, which social media platforms are you using most commonly, so that we're sure that we're getting information out in the way that it finds you where you're already getting your news and updates.
Yeah, so please definitely vote on this one, because we are trying to figure out the best way to disseminate the information and reach out to you. While they're filling out that, was there another question there, Anand, that we could peek
Yeah,
at?
what I think we're sharing the results of this.
Oh.
So,
Yeah,
yep.
Instagram is the most popular
Wow.
platform. All right.
All right, moving on to the next question. So our next question is, our student section is struggling to get money. We have reached out to the mechanical engineering department, but they declined us. We've also reached out to ASME, but haven't heard anything yet. Also, we don't have a professional section. How do we increase our active members? So Nicole, can I turn this one over to you?
Sure. As a former student section leader, I commiserate because I think that's always the challenge, especially with trying to find funds. ASME does offer activity funding, and I'm disappointed to hear that you've reached out and haven't heard anything. We will definitely take that as an action item and make sure that someone reaches out to you. But that's between the activity funding and especially this year with things being virtual. For example, ASME can help you to get a Zoom license, or you may have a similar web web meeting tool through your university. So that's a great way to start having meetings, and often with good content will come membership. So if you develop great programs and you promote them well, you'll naturally find a draw. But your section coordinator on Evelyn's team will probably be the best person to help you with growing your section and finding the funds you need to do so.
Great, thank you, Nicole. So the next question, which is I think a good question and also potentially a suggestion, will there be separate town halls to discuss the various student competitions, specifically the Harnessing the Sun and Wind Challenge? So Sarosh, why don't I turn that over to you to respond to that one?
Yeah, so we are absolutely planning for regular webinars that are focusing on our competition. So we will be making announcements around those in the next, towards the end of the month into early next month. So again, keep an eye on our website, keep an eye on our social media. As registration for those specific webinars to the competitions are live, we'll post them on all of those channels for you. But great suggestion, something we had always been planning for.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for more on that.
Great, and we'll be sure to let them know on LinkedIn and Instagram so they can see it when it's available.
Yes.
Our next question is there a place where we could see all the contacts for student sections of ASME? It could be helpful to reach out to other schools and sections that are near us. Nicole, can I turn that one over to you?
Sure. So I would look at the volunteer leader directory of vld.asme.org, I believe. But it'll be scrolling here in a minute on the reminders page. They are, that's the place where you can search all volunteer leaders throughout ASME and get contact information. And the other thing I would recommend is, again, reaching out to your section coordinator. They can help you both to find other schools and professional sections that are close to you and put you in contact with the appropriate folks, or even, in a virtual world, another, kind of a sister school maybe that's got similar interests or, a similar strength in a particular technical area, for example. Look to Evelyn's team to help you make those connections, as well as visit the vld.asme.org site.
Which is a good reminder. So if you are part of a student section and one of the leadership team, make sure they opt in to choose that selection. If not, ASME cannot post your information in the VLD. So this is a challenge that we face. Student sections want to reach out to other student sections, and if you don't opt in, then we can't provide that to others.
Great, thank you both for the response on that. Our next question is someone who's very interested in space engineering. They want to develop their skills and they want to develop something new. And they're asking about how ASME can help with funding or guidance. So Yeah, this is
Big one.
an interesting one,
I
and I
know,
think
so-
that EFS careers can potentially help with this. But Nicole, why don't I turn this over to you to start?
Absolutely. So I think you know this is one of those interests that just reaches across the breadth of everything ASME does. You know, everything from the technical division, so that you're aware of the latest technical trends and research and advances, so that you can find that niche or that you really want to uh, advance and create. EFS careers to be able to develop your business plan and your figure out your path as an entrepreneur. Um, uh, the iShow in order to showcase once you start getting some to that kind of proof of concept stage. I mean, this is exactly what ASME is for, right?
Absolutely. Thank you, Nicole. So our next question is about the iShow, which you just referenced. And the question is, you know, is it possible to bring the iShow to my country? I will respond to this one. So we do have the iShow, which we typically run in Kenya, India, and the United States. But I want to clarify, just because the physical events were run in those countries doesn't mean that you can't apply from anywhere in the world. So you can apply from anywhere, absolutely anywhere in the world. So, you know, I would ask you to consider doing so. Also, iShow will be virtual this year. So it's truly going to be a very, very global activity. So definitely encourage you to go to the ASME iShow website and consider applying if you're building a hardware-based product as a social entrepreneur or addressing the UN Sustainable Development Goals. The next question is for Omar. It says, and the question is, what else can you tell us about the SLTC?
Well, from my personal experience and having attended and organized SLTC for quite a while now, I think I can say that the best value out of SLTC is meeting, and it also resonates with an earlier question, is meeting a lot of student leaders from literally all over the world, from the West Coast in the US all the way to Asia, Europe, India, and even China. So I think it's a great opportunity to meet a lot of student leaders, see what they're up to, get ideas from them, connect with them, and maybe even collaborate with them on events and programs. And even though we're going virtual this year, but we're working hard on preserving this connection type of networking within the SLTC. And you'll also get the chance to learn a lot more about ASME, how it's structured, if you're interested to stay involved after graduating within ASME, and a lot of leadership skills, a lot of great leadership sessions. And I can keep talking about SLTC for quite a bit, but I hope that gave you a bit more information.
Thank you, Omar. That was great. So our next question is about an error in the membership renewal form. Brandy, if I can have you reach out to that individual just so we can help them through that process. The next question, Sarosh, I want to turn this over to you. Do the EFESs have a registration fee?
Sorry, I was on mute. Happy to announce that EFES Careers 2020, which will be on November 7th, will be absolutely free. So we will be opening up registration for that in the first week of October, but there is no fee to join. Please register, sign up, participate. We're going to have a fantastic program for you, and we're really excited about that.
Great, thank you, Sarosh.
Yeah.
Our next question is about the Eclipse program. To apply for the Eclipse program, is it necessary to have prior volunteering activities within ASME?
Oh, definitely.
Callie, I'm going to turn that one over to you.
So the Eclipse program is very, very sought after. I mean, the applicants, it's amazing how many they receive. They are selected from across the world. They really are able to look to see how active they were at ASME and how they can be able to contribute back. So you definitely do want to get involved and be active in ASME, because what this program does is it's actually a leadership pipeline for ASME as well. So if you're already starting to be active, let's say at a student member, or even later on, if you weren't a student member, you're already graduated, you can become active in your local professional section or in a technical division. The people that have been selected, they weren't necessarily the leader of their student sections. In fact, some of them were very active later on. And so you need to have, I forgot how many years of working experience, and then you're selected for this program. But it's something that you might want to already keep out there, like this is something that I want to achieve. You get this great exposure within ASME, and then of course all the different ASME leadership knows you as well, and you get great mentoring. You receive a mentor for this program as well.
Yeah, it's what, 10 people a year, and I think, yeah, and you have to be at least 3 years out of school, and no more than 10 years. So that it's a window. It's definitely not for you know, an immediate graduate. You have time to build your portfolio of volunteer experiences within ASME.
Great, thank you both. So the next question is, how do I get notified if there's going to be a local EFX near me? This one's kind of a tricky question in a virtual world. So
I know.
Sarosh, why don't I turn it over to you to start the response on this one?
Yeah, so I think two answers for this. Number one, I think the most straightforward way is if you go to the EFEST website, there is a contact us section, and over there it will let you sign up for alerts based on what you're interested in, whether it's our monthly newsletters, EFEST, or EFXs. So I would certainly do that. And then with the announcement and going live of this unified calendar that we will have up and running, hopefully in the next few weeks, that's another great way to just explore and see what's happening locally, whether it's EFXs or any other section events that you might be interested in. This being a very virtual year, I think it really opens up the opportunity for everyone to participate in a whole range of different events.
And what we used to do for the EFX is as soon as one was planned, it actually would go onto the ASME eFest website under the EFX, and that would be posted. So if that means someone has to go back and check it periodically. But again, what you mentioned, Shrush, I think is great. The digital calendar of events, they can always go there and see what's coming in the next couple months prior to.
Or just sign up for the newsletter. Go to your preference center, manage your subscriptions. And make sure that you're actually getting messages from ASME.
Yep.
Great, thank you all. Next question is just someone asking for more information about ASME's student scholarships. So I'll respond to this one. We actually have a fantastic website. If you just go to asme.org and look for scholarships, I'll also post the link into the Q&A answer section here. But there is the timeline, there is the eligibility criteria for each one. You can actually do different filters to look at what kinds of scholarships are available by different criteria. So definitely, would ask you to go to that website, explore all the opportunities that are there. And as Nicole mentioned, we have quite a bit of money available to help students during the academic year. So the applications themselves for this academic year are going to open in early December, so just keep an eye on that, and I will be posting that link for you here as well. Next question is, can anyone from any department apply to become an ASME member? And Callie, can I turn that one to you?
So when they say any department, any engineering department?
Correct.
So I would say,
that's assuming what,
yeah. So I would say definitely for any engineering department, you can apply to become an ASME member. And here's the reason why. Mechanical engineering is, like, in my mind, the fundamental of all the engineering programs. So if you're a computer science or bioengineering, and in fact, as an ASME member, you will soon discover the amount of divisions that we have. So becoming an ASME member is going to be beneficial for your own career. So please do, you can apply.
Great, thank you, Callie. The next question is about more of the specifics around the HPVC competition.
Yeah.
I think we will defer that to the competition committee, and so would ask you to email them directly there. The next question, is just a comment saying from someone saying that they use Snapchat and Instagram. Thank you for that. We'll definitely be leveraging a lot of Instagram to ensure that we get our communications out to you. We have a comment from Latin America, thanking us for the event and saying hello. hello back, and thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Next question. I'm a student in mechanical engineering, but if I opted for activities related to another stream, then this is a good thing, okay? I guess that's just a comment.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Next question. Our professional section is very inactive. We're geographically close to another active section. Is it possible to switch to being under the active section? And who would be the best contact to chat about this?
Evelyn Taylor. Definitely have them contact Evelyn Taylor. And I think especially in this virtual world, it's going to be so much easier now to actually get involved with the other section. And then if you are physically closer to them, once they are able to have in-person events, yeah. So
yeah, and so we're actually working on tools within the member development engagement sector to allow folks to select which professional section their alliances, as opposed to being automatically affiliated just by a particular zip code. So some tools like that are coming out. In addition, as I mentioned earlier, there's a very active initiative to revitalize sections. So given that you do have a section that's close to you that is active, there may be ways to either revisit what your section's doing and how it's serving, and how you partner with that local active section, or even to I think it's nobody's first choice, but to say is in today's world with all the virtual stuff, is it worth sunsetting one of those and combining the two? But certainly Evelyn would be the right contact for that.
But also sometimes a professional section is inactive because of the lack of leadership there. So this could be a great opportunity for someone to step up, as long as they know that there's this opportunity to do that. So,
and what a great thing to put on your resume.
Exactly.
That you revitalized a section.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Great feedback. Our next question is a comment. The comment is, I like these town halls that talk about upcoming events as opposed to an email. The Zoom meeting is more informational and interesting, plus we get the chance to ask questions. So
Great.
yes, thank you. And we totally agree, and I'm glad you're enjoying it.
And a quick note related to that, Anna, and I can announce that we are going to be holding another student and early career town hall early next year on February 4th. So stay tuned for more details on that. But we want to make sure that at the start of every semester and, at these, nice touch points during the year, that we are connecting with everyone and giving more detailed announcements like we did tonight.
Great, thanks.
Great, thank you for that, Sarosh. So there's two comments related to students and professional sections. I'm just going to read them. I think they're super helpful. So the first comment is, every student section should be linked to a professional section, even if they're not local to each other. Mm-hmm. And then the second comment is, every student section should have a student section advisor appointed by the mechanical engineering department head. Usually this is a member of the faculty, but this is not a requirement. The student section advisor should be able to establish a good relationship between the student section and the department. This should help the student section get more recognition and funding. And I think this is where I want to echo a lot of what Nicole has been saying throughout this webinar, which is, if you're not getting enough support, or you don't know who your student section advisor is, or you don't have a strong enough link to a professional section, just reach out to us. Reach out to Evelyn Taylor. We will make sure that we help to resolve that issue and get you the support that you need. The next question is, we want to hold a webinar for our student section. Can I get help with ASME speakers and a Zoom website registration link? This sounds like a potential EFX applicant. Sarosh, you want to? I mean, we can help them regardless, but Sarosh, you want to talk just a little bit about
So again, I feel like we're saying everything is Evelyn Taylor, but I think for a lot of the section support initiatives, it really is Evelyn who has a fantastic team. So I'm happy to help in any way. I know with the EFX digital platform, Evelyn's team will be very heavily involved, because there are a lot of elements that will require some section support in the form of Zoom links, Zoom licenses, and so on. So Evelyn is the person to reach out to that. And then if there's anything EFX specific, you can always reach out to me as well.
Great. The next question is a clarification on the previous iShow question, interest in hosting iShow in their country. So I would say just reach out to us and let us know. As I mentioned, for the foreseeable future, we're doing iShows virtually, but we'd love to learn more about what you're thinking about and see if we can help.
And if nothing else, it could be a great topic for an EFX that might be both regional and say focused on entrepreneurship. Something like that helps to develop entrepreneurial skills, maybe in a pre-iShow, not quite to the point of actually competing on an idea, but it helps to develop skills related to identifying ideas, developing your business plan, standing up a company, etc.
I have a quick note from Evelyn's team specific to section funding, which is that all student sections activity, there is a student section activity funding program that gives up to $500 a year for activities. So that's where I would strongly encourage everyone to reach out to Evelyn and her fantastic team to find out more about how that program works.
Fantastic. So the next two questions were things that are very kind of one-on-one, so I'm going to skip those. And Brandy, if we could just make sure we respond to those individuals about their specific requests. The next question after that is, how does ASME keep track of activities of individual members of a student section? That's a good question. Nicole, maybe I'll turn that over to you just to get a little bit of context on that.
Yeah, so I'll say that's something that we are actively working on. ASME historically has maybe not had the most robust data systems. I know when I got married and changed my name and just tacked on the dais, it threw membership into a tizzy and had to get it relinked manually. So that's something that we're actively working on updating. And we'll continue to roll out new resources throughout the year in order to help you track registrations for your events and help you to get information on which types of activities are the most valuable and best attended in your particular district. So I think ASME is slowly becoming more and more data savvy and adapting to this virtual world, and it's offering us a whole host of new opportunities to connect people both with the types of activities that they're interested in and use that data then to develop more of that content that's valuable to you.
Great. I think we're at the end of our questions.
Right.
Well, oh, sorry. There's one more, last one, and then we'll wrap up for the night. So sorry. Okay. Can we reach out to ASME for resources in order to conduct events? If they're virtual events, absolutely. Just reach out to the folks that we mentioned in this webinar, or you could definitely also fill out an application to host a virtual EFX. So many ways to possibly get engaged. So with that, why don't I just go through our panelists one last time to see if there's any closing remarks before we close out. So Omar, let's start with you. Any closing remarks?
I would just say to keep an eye on follow us on social media, keep an eye on all of our upcoming virtual events this year. It's going to be very eventful, even though we're not going to be able to be together in the same room, but I'm sure we can still connect in different ways this year. And it was an honor being here with great people with you tonight on the panel.
Great. And Callie, why don't we go to you next?
All right. Well, I was just going to say, I want to thank everyone on behalf of the volunteers from SCCD. Thank you for joining us. I just think it's incredible the amount of programs and events and activities that we have planned for the students in early career. It's something that I've been very passionate about, and I know the volunteers on here have been so dedicated. It's amazing, but they do it because they've been in the same shoes, and we want to be able to provide everything for them. So the staff has been fantastic. So we want you all to be actively involved, continue learning and growing your skills and knowledge, and expand your network. Definitely be part of this ASME family and contribute back and volunteer. So I'm looking forward to seeing them at the eFest Careers on November 7th.
I just wanted to remind everyone to apply for SLTC. Our deadline is coming up very soon, so make sure to apply as soon as possible. And also, if you're interested to volunteer in the CEC, please shoot us an email at earlycareerengineers@asme.org.
Great. And Sarosh, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, so first of all, just thank you for giving us some time this evening or early morning, depending upon where you are or anywhere else in between. We really appreciate having you join us tonight. Couple of quick reminders. There will be a quick survey going out after this event. There is a 25% discount code for membership, so please make sure you do the survey and take advantage of that. And also, as I mentioned a little earlier, we will be doing another Student in Early Career Town Hall on February 4th, so stay tuned for that. And we're excited to see everyone during our eFest Careers event on November 7th.
And then finally, before we close out, the person who really put this presentation together and has worked tirelessly on this is Nicole. So Nicole, thank you for all your hard work to put this together, and I'll let you have the closing remarks to close us out for tonight.
Well, I just want to echo everything that my fellow panelists have said. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. We greatly appreciate you spending almost an hour and a half with us, wherever you are in the world, you know, in the middle of your morning, afternoon, dinner, whatever it may be for you. We thank you for your interest in ASME, and we look forward to seeing you at eFest Careers on November 7th. If not at SLTC the week prior. And we absolutely hope that you'll take the information that you saw tonight and become involved, and that we'll see you at the competitions, that we'll see you at EFX events, that will be receiving your input on the future direction of the CEC, because ASME is, no matter where you are in your career, at whatever stage, or where you are globally, ASME has something to benefit you, and we look forward to seeing you in this virtual world soon. So thank you all.
We can't wait to see all the different social media things up and
Absolutely, yeah. Yep, looking forward to that social media challenge. That should be your call out for the, you know, you didn't have your chat to see where in the world everybody is, but they can still post it on social media, and you can do your map to see the spread of this around the world.
And that is how you're a part of all of us. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining our Student Early Career Town Hall. We look forward to seeing you in future events. And with that, we're going to wrap up and close out. Thank you, and have a great night, morning, or afternoon.
Thank you, everyone.